Hello. Today we are talking about The Lovely Bones. I think this is a very good book. It's written well. It is very sad. There are a lot of parts where I I couldn't help crying. And it's very heavy. The main character is Susie Salmon, and almost right away she is murdered. And it just kind of talks about her story of processing that and like dealing with being in heaven but wanting to be with her family, and kind of the dynamic of having to accept that she's no longer on earth, but it doesn't mean that she's been left behind by her family. Trigger warning: this book, the serial killer is a pedophile, and it goes into detail of some of his crimes, and it's gross and it's uncomfortable and like ugh. And then with Susie, it's very graphic. So Susie's murder, obviously, because she's experiencing it, she's going into it's going into full detail, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I I tend to just kind of fast read because it's really hard to read. It really goes into detail, and I don't love that part just because the content is gross. Overall, I do think this is a beautiful, well written story. I love that she is learning that she can be okay with moving on and that her family still loves her and she doesn't have to disappear from their lives. I love that she kind of gets her own happy ending and she gets peace and she still gets justice. I love that. I will say the movie and the book, very different. Very different. Because the book is very raw and it's intense in a lot of parts and it's very adult content. Whereas the movie, like, I appreciate that they did scrub out some things, obviously, because I don't want to see certain things. But the movie is a bit different and it's a little more tame. So, one of the biggest things in the book and the movie is the mom doesn't end up having an affair with the detective, which I can kind of see. And like the timeline in the movie is so condensed because in the book, the mom's gone for like 7 years, I think. And the movie, she's gone for maybe a couple months at most, maybe a year. And it kind of takes away some of that struggle for the parents and how just insane but like beautiful it is that they were able to re-find each other. Like, they went through one of the hardest things, they both coped in different ways, and yet they were able to still come back to each other. They were able to, you know, step forward with each other. I will say I kind of get why the movie does it because I'm going to be real, I didn't like the mom. I get that I've never been through that, and I pray to God I never go through that, and I understand everyone copes in their own different way. But I hate that you would just walk out on your two remaining kids, walk out on your partner when it seems like that's when they would need you the most because you don't want to deal with the fact that you lost your child. And like I said, everyone grieves in a different way, and I don't know how that feels, so I can't judge too harshly. I didn't love that, but that's okay. Um and then another thing, like I said, the timeline is very condensed. So in the book, the mom is gone for about 7 years. Like when she comes back, Buckley is 12 years old. She is older. I think she's like 21. She's engaged to her boyfriend, and mom has missed so much. And so when she comes back, she's like, I don't even know, like, I don't feel comfortable here. I don't know what to do. It's all so different. And then in the movie as well, another change is the dad never has a heart attack. So we don't see that dynamic of Buckley and Susie both wanting their dad. And so I feel like you miss out on quite a bit. Overall, I don't think the movie is bad. It's different, but I don't think it's bad. I think the movie, if you're going to do one of them, I would definitely watch the movie first and then read the book. I am going to talk about one thing in the movie that I noticed that I was like, why? Why did we do this? So, this is my own thing. This is my own personal opinion. I noticed it and I looked it up and I was like, that's so weird. Okay. If you've ever seen a Christmas Prince or what is it? It's like Royal Baby. It's this 3-part series. It's a Hallmark Christmas movie. The sister, like the actress that played Lindsay, Susie's sister, is in that. Okay? For the movie, Lindsay is supposed to be 12. She's 2 years younger than Susie. So the actress that plays Susie looks like she's 14, maybe in her later teens, like 16 or something, but she looks close enough to her age. Why did they get a 21-year-old to play Lindsay? Because doing the math, I'm not the best at math. I did the math, and I'm pretty sure the actress who played Lindsay was around the time in her, like, 20s, which is insane because it would have been one thing if they did that because they wanted her to portray the younger and the older, and they kept the timeline the same as the book. So she's 12 in the beginning, and then she's 21 and kind of at the end. But they didn't do that. They like kept it where Lindsay was 12 the whole time. And it's so weird because you're looking at this supposed to be 12-year-old. If you read the book, you know how old Lindsay is. And yet she looks like a full-grown adult. Such a weird choice because I don't understand why they couldn't have got someone closer to the age of Lindsay. It didn't need to necessarily be a 12-year-old. But if they had gotten someone that looked younger than the actress who played Susie, I noticed that and I was like, why did we do that? That's so weird. That's so weird. But that's my biggest complaint with the movie. Overall, I think the movie is fine. I don't think it's as good as the book because there are certain parts with the book that just, it goes into the detail you need for the story to really hit home. There was one part in the book where I was like, man, it's kind of messed up. On the 1-year anniversary, the whole town decides to have like a light memorial or like a candle memorial for Susie, but they purposely don't invite the family. Like they avoid Susie's family, which is so messed up because I would just think like it's for her. Wouldn't you want her family to be there? And like, yeah, it can be awkward to talk to people who are in the depths of grief, but like, how selfish is it to make yourself seem like you're doing this big grand gesture, but then you're not even including the family to allow them to be there? Because I'm sure the family would want to hear your memories of their loved one that's gone. They'd want to hear how their loved one impacted your life. And like the only reason they go is because Lindsay, the little sister, notices it. And the mom, so Lindsay mentions it and goes, hey, I think they're having a memorial for Susie. And the mom goes, I'm done with that. And then basically just kind of like brushes her off and is like, I'm not going. Which it's like, ma'am, I know you're dealing with a lot, but like, this is not a healthy way to handle it. Like, you can't just shove down all your feelings. But I just thought that was kind of messed up. Also, I forgot this. So, George Harvey is the killer. We learned that very quick. Basically, Lindsay breaks in to his house at one point because their dad is dead set that George Harvey has something to do with it. Like, he just feels it, and he feels like their dog barking at his house is a sign, and there's other little signals that he's like, yep, this is the guy. Lindsay breaks in, and she steals some proof. In the movie, it's like clear, cut and dry proof. Like, he's got a snippet of her hair, he's got articles, and he's got this whole plan thing and all these drawings. But in the book, all that they have is he has sketches of structures, one of them being a structure in the cornfield. So Lindsay takes the sketchbook to her dad. George Harvey calls the police and he's like, hey, someone broke into my house. And he tells them it was Lindsay Salmon. I understand she's going through a lot, but like, she broke into my house. And so the detectives are asking them questions, and Lindsay gives them the sketch that he drew. And they're like, oh, we're going to have to look into this. And so they call Len, the main detective who's been on this case. And they're like, hey, you should come. Like, we need your help. Come over, essentially. But they can't reach Len. So they leave a voicemail and they're calling, but he's not picking up. The mom earlier that day was like, Len, you should meet me at the mall so we can canoodle. So because the mom was like, I don't want to think about my daughter and I want to canoodle with this man just to get away from it, Len wasn't there. George Harvey got away. And there's like no justice. And then the mom, mind you, is upset that like the dad is wanting to catch this guy. Granted, it is technically her fault that they didn't catch him in the first place. Because the dad just wants justice for Susie. And the mom is like, you're being crazy. She's already dead. This isn't going to bring her back. Which, to an extent, I can get. But, like, the whole point of wanting justice for your young daughter is that hopefully it doesn't happen to another young girl. And, it was just, that was really frustrating. So I can see why the movie didn't do that, because at that part, I wanted to rip my hair out. I was so upset. Overall, though, great book. I think everyone should read this. But yeah, I definitely think this book is a 10 out of 10. I've read it like 4 times now. I still love it. It's a good book. Goodbye.